My name is Jeffrey Hall. I'm the son of Dr. Marshall Hall. I'm also Managing Director of Jamaica Producers Group and CEO and Vice Chairman of the Pan-Jamaica Group. So Dr. Hall started life professionally as an academic. So he was a tenured professor of economics at 3 universities, one in St. Louis, Missouri, Washington University in St. Louis, Canada University in Kampala, Uganda. The end of his academic career was at the University of the West Indies, where he was Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences and also a founder of the Mona School of Business. And this would have been in the 1970s, an era of heavy state involvement in enterprise. So he left the University of the West Indies in 1975 and joined and became chairman and CEO of JPS, Jamaica Public Service. In 1979, he left JPS and went into real private enterprise and became CEO of Jamaica Producers Group. And for many people who know him, they would associate him with that part of his career, which spanned as a director of the company from 1979 until November 2022, which is when he passed away. And in 1980, the core business of that enterprise was completely destroyed by Hurricane Allen, which decimated the then banana industry in Jamaica. At that time, Jamaica's banana industry really was a collection of small farmers. And the role that Jamaica Banana Producers Association had was to consolidate the fruit of these thousands of small farmers and arrange for shipping and subsequent sale in the United Kingdom. But because the industry was destroyed, this was not just a challenge, but also an opportunity to reinvent the industry with larger, more efficient, more well-invested farms. And so he set about cobbling together a series of partnerships, acquired the land, and developed what then became the largest banana farms in Jamaica. 3 big farms: St. Mary Banana Estates, Eastern Banana Estates in St. Thomas, and Victoria Banana Estates in Clarendon. And these banana estates became hugely profitable for the business. Took a lot of capital to do them, but they became successful because they were more efficient and actually became the largest employer in the Caribbean at the time, with almost 5,000 employees. So it was a big business. He was very proud of it. He didn't do it alone. Obviously, it was a team effort. But it really defined the future of JP for decades to come. My father, in his capacity as my boss, was somebody with whom I could brainstorm, with whom others could brainstorm. He was a pure play mentor. If you brought a question to him, he would almost always respond to another question, trying to shepherd you to form your own views on the subject. So what we had in our relationship around the business of Jamaica Producers was a never-ending conversation. It never really had a beginning, and it didn't ever have an end. We were always talking about the next opportunity, brainstorming it, thinking it through. So there's no single moment or event that for me was a watershed per se. What I reflect on is a perpetual conversation. It began before I joined the company. It began when I was a teenager and in school, and it ended literally on his deathbed. And that's the way I associate myself with him and the company. I think for us, integrity is everything. Your word means something. You take a long view of business. We don't believe in gimmicks and quick wins. We believe in creating something of tangible worth for the long term. Those are values that he participated in creating for the enterprise with which I work. I would say that the thing that is somewhat unique about Jamaica Producers is that we are, and have always been, and will always be, I believe, a global enterprise. So this is not a business that operates narrowly within the 4 corners of Jamaica. This is a business that has been doing global business since 1929, but in his career, which commenced at JP in 1979, he'd have been operating a global enterprise, before the fax machine was invented, let alone email, let alone spreadsheets. let alone social media or WhatsApp. He would have been operating international business before the invention of the answering machine, and so there's a certain style of how you trust people and how you give confidence to your leaders on the ground in a business far away. When I joined JP in the early 2000s, in 2002, we still got the financial statements from our global enterprises on the ship. Meaning they came down to Jamaica and the packet was given in care of the captain and we were discharged. And that's how we got the financial statements for the prior month for our businesses. And so the only way to do that was to have a relationship of real trust, to be a good judge of people on the ground, and to maintain the integrity of the enterprise. And I think the outcome of that speaks for itself. He was never caught up in the material trappings of business success. So for him, he always said that success was 2 concrete blocks and a slab of wood big enough to put his books on, and if necessary, another layer of concrete blocks and more wood on which to build the next level of bookshelf. And for him, that was how he defined success. So even though he received accolades of, say, the PSOJ Hall of Fame, he never really saw himself as part of the core business community. He never, at least insofar as there was a representation of material success. So there was never a desire for a better car or a better house. Those things that he had were more often than not just tools. For him, what was most important was just the game, the fun of building something meaningful and lasting. And whether you're doing it for profit or for development, I think he would honestly have been indifferent.